How rapidly is life in Albania changing? Aside from views of the government or the opposition, Forbes.com has chosen a Washington-based American company to measure the indicators of the speed of economic change in Albania. Social Technologies ranks Albania a runner-up country regarding the pace of changing the economy. In making this assessment, Social Technologies gathered data from some of the most reliable sources like the United Nations Development Program, Freedom House, and the World Resources Institute. It has also taken into account the political, social, and economic factors throughout the years and focuses on town planning, education, human freedoms, economic growth and the increase of incomes, as well as access to telephone, television, and the internet. 3 years ago, Albania was considered a difficult country by Europe and the world because of high levels of organized crime, corruption, and informality. And there were doubts about the willingness of the ruling majority that emerged from the July 3, 2005 general elections to change things in a country where young people immigrated every day and where there had been few direct foreign investments for years. Fortunately, things have changed. Albania has turned into a safe country in which to live and build a future. A country where one can invest and see a return on the investment. The zero-tolerance fight against corruption and organized crime has been the subject of the activity of this government. Over a period of 3 years, some of the most dangerous criminal gangs operating in Albania and abroad have been arrested by police. All state structures have been committed to the uncompromising fight against corruption. Several legal initiatives were launched to prevent conflict of interest and also to ease and make public procurements as transparent as possible, as they were the most exposed to this phenomenon. A great number of high-level officials were arrested on charges of corruption. Thus, Albania has begun to separate itself from the mud into which it had fallen. Albania has quickly turned into a big construction site. Rural and national roads, highways, and superhighways are being built throughout the country. The total investments over the 2005 to 2008 period are about 950 million euros. 789 kilometers of new roads and 157 kilometers of new highways were built, while 1,948 kilometers of existing roads were rebuilt and maintained. In the area of road safety over the past 3 years, the investments have reached about 4 million euros. The Durrës-Kukës Highway is one of the most important projects for which 70% of the work is completed. This road project also includes the longest tunnel in the Balkans, a tunnel which is expected to be completed in early 2009. Other highways have begun to be built. Work has begun for the paving of numerous roads from north to south of Albania. Currently, the government has begun the implementation of the asphalting project for 4,000 kilometers of rural roads, a project which will definitively take Albania out of the dust and mud and will create the opportunity to increase investments countrywide. The situation in the water supply and canalization system has been another of this government's priorities. During the 2005 to 2008 period, 615 water supply systems and 233 sewage systems, estimated at a value of 170 million euros, were built in urban and rural areas. The government has also paid special attention to education and health and is focused not just on infrastructure, but also on the financial treatment of employees. Over the last 3 years, the government has invested in building and reconstructing 1,006 schools countrywide worth 140 million euros, and work is in progress to extend internet connectivity to every school in the country. To modernize the Albanian public sector and accelerate the technological development of the country, Prime Minister Berisha signed the Strategic Partnership Agreement with the President of Microsoft Corporation, Mr. Bill Gates. In addition to the modernization of the school venues, the government increased the salaries of the teachers by 75%. The acceptance process to universities has broken away from the corruptive practices. During these years, the number of students attending universities has doubled. Investments for the health sector have also doubled. Some 270 new medical centers worth 3.8 million euros and 150 clinics have been built. About 2 million euros are projected to be spent on medical equipment, while teachers' salaries have been increased by 84% and nurses' salaries have seen an 89% increase. The government promised to increase pensions in rural and urban areas since the first days in office. Currently, the minimum pensions in urban areas have been increased by 35% compared to 2005, while the minimum incomes of pensioners in the rural areas have been increased by 68%.